Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am super excited to come to you today with another fresh new episode for your Friday. Hope you are doing well. Hope you had a great week if you're listening in real time here. It was a busy week for us here. Got rained out a couple days this week, but you know that's just a part of it. We're kind of hitting the dog days of summer for a lot of you guys across the country in that mowing schedule. You just get out, you do the grind, same thing for about 6 to 8 weeks here. Just the same old. But like I said, we're getting a little bit of rain, which is good. We needed it. We got dry for about a month and a half, so I'm happy that we are finally getting some rain. But today we have a really unique show. We get to have some great guests on the show, and it's kind of just a really good conversation. It's not really an interview style from my point of view. We just have a really good conversation. So what we're going to hear today is part 2 of a 2-part episode with Caleb and Brittany Auman of the Kid Contractor podcast. We were on their show in the beginning, Savannah and I, and so that's where part 1 is over on their show. We're going to hang on and let you hear part 2 here in just a second, but really fun conversation there. We literally started the show. I had to take a call because our sod had been rained out for the past week, and finally they were able to cut it, so I had to talk to them and set up details on delivery. But anyway, that's how we're going to start the show off, with me coming back from a phone call, and then we have a really good 40 minutes here just having good conversation, talking about business growth, just growing your individual and relational skills as far as working in the business together, communicating about things, financial decisions, equipment purchases, all the things that go along with it. We talked through a lot of that. And so we talked through some irrigation, some service offerings that you could be doing to make some more money. So it's a wide range of things we get into, but it's always a good time when we get to have Caleb and Brittany on the show, have a conversation with them. I appreciate their time. Appreciate them having us on their show. So if you hear this one, go listen to part 1 on the Kid Contractor podcast today, and then come back and listen to part 2 here for a great about hour and a half of just good, really fun, good, wholesome content for you here on a Friday. Value add heading into the weekend. So without any further ado, guys, thank you for tuning in. We're going to kick it over to Caleb and Brittany, and then we will close the show out just at the end of that interview. So real quick before we let you go, if you are looking to sign up for Equip Expo, use code GG50, and that'll get you in the door for $15, and that is 50% off the normal price of $30. That will go up in I think end of September, really beginning of October, right before the show. So let's dive into the show, guys. Let's hear from Caleb and Brittany Auman and listen in on a great conversation.
Well, Jeremiah had to take a call there. That's the nature of business, and he's got us on hold. But it's so funny, Brittany, the parallels, right, of like that trajectory of small business. And it doesn't matter if they're running a pizza shop or Brighter Bins or whatever, like, oh, we need the new washer unit in the Brighter Bin cleaning unit, or we need a new oven in a pizza. It would turn out pizzas faster. Sorry. We could run more pizzas faster.
My sod's gotten rained out 3 days in a row, and so they were calling me to tell me they were starting to cut.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Then I was just talking with Brittany here through the break there, but of like just how just how your story about buying equipment just echoes through, what our thing. And again, that, our story of buying machines and moving our way uphill, slowly. And that's and then I was laughing about like how uniform all that is with business and universal rather, of like, if it's a pizza shop, if they got a new, $80,000 oven, they could churn out, 30 pizzas an hour instead of 20. And what does that look like on the, the bottom line or even the top line of revenue of, if we can pump out 30 pizzas an hour instead of 20, that means we do X amount of revenue on Friday nights more. It's all relative, right?
the problem, and there's not a problem. The stipulation to that is it's the reason that it was so easy for us to buy the mini skid was we maxed out what we had. You can't, just because you go buy a new mini skid doesn't mean work is just going to start coming in, right? Like, nope, like just because your customers or potential customers don't know you just bought a mini skid. Oh, let me call him, right? You have to be like consistently booking that work and maxing out your options first and going through that 2 to 3 month window of like, this sucks, but I know like we've got to do this. And then we're going to reinvest into new equipment. So that's what we did. And that same thing with that pizza shop. If that pizza shop isn't getting business already, that new oven is not going to do anything for them to make them like generate new revenue, right? They've got to be maxing out their kitchen already.
Jeremiah, with this kind of like business acumen and knowledge, you ever thought about starting a podcast of your own?
I have thought about it. Some people say it's a good idea. Some people say you do it for a long time and don't get anywhere. So
if you could start a podcast, what would you call it?
I don't know. Probably.
Growing green.
Yeah, probably growing yellow.
I think that's taken. I think somebody's already got one, and it's going nowhere. That one I heard.
You're right. I think I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah,
I heard some stories about that guy
going the other direction.
Okay, so yeah, Growing Green podcast there, obviously. So yeah, it's that's a great point on the pizza oven. Just because you buy, okay, let me throw this at you. Manifesting. Your thoughts on that, Jeremiah and Savannah, go.
No, there is truth. I mean, truth be told, I'm somewhat manifesting with this Mini X we just bought in a sense, because like right now it is going to save us a lot of labor when we do some downspout extensions and stuff. And we've been doing those installs consistently, yes. But like we don't do a bunch of French drain work right now. This machine would allow us to get into that pretty easily. This machine will also allow us to get into irrigation a lot more. We could install whole systems now with this because we could dig the trenches pretty easily. And so it's kind of one of those things. Do I have that work booked up right now? No, not totally. So I'm kind of, in a sense, contradicting. But this is different stages of business, different stages of life, guys. This is why we say, like, I preach this. No, nothing is a one-size-fits-all statement, right? You have to apply it to where you're at. And things pivot, things change. Like there are a few things. There's probably less than 5 things that I would say is it's across the board. No matter where you're at in business, you should follow certain things. And this isn't one of them. This is just, in a sense, I am, yes, manifesting the Mini X thing. But we do have that work. I can put it to work somewhere else. But like down to getting a new truck, right? Like there's validity to that whole, the gravel making his wife happy, better family life. Like if you're a young kid, you're 18, you're starting your business. Should you go buy a brand new truck? Like, I don't know. Go buy a $20,000 truck that's used. Put a little bit into it. Put $3,000-$5,000 into it. Spend some time out in the late evenings working on it. Reinvest that other $20,000 back into your business. Right? Like, there's a lot. There's something to be said with that. Now, if you have a wife and a kid or 2 kids, and you have a family, and you're in year 2 or year 3 of business, and your truck keeps breaking down, and you're spending more time with it in the shop, and your wife's having to go drop you off in the mornings to get it, or your truck breaks down on the side of the road and your wife's coming to get you and she's having to load the kids up and all that, then like there's truth and validity to screw it. I'm buying a new truck. I know it's going to cost me money. I know it's going to be a big payment. Yes. But I'm buying back my time of sitting on the side of the road. This time can now be spent sending out estimates, putting it out in new work. And also my wife is going to be happy. There's probably that is worth probably about half the payment that you're going to pay on that truck. So like, there's truth to all of it. But you have to figure out where you're at in business.
Well, and a quick plug for LMN in that regard. You buy the truck, and whether you buy cash or payments or whatever, but that truck costs you $1,000 a month in payments or $500. Essentially, and when you build an estimate in LMN and you put all your stuff in there, it's going to tell you $50 a day that thing sits on a job site is going to cover. Actually, it'd be a little bit more now because you got profit margin overhead recovery. So it's going to say $71 a day for that truck to sit on site, or if it's less than that, whatever. But like that's how you make those things make their money back, right? And so it's $71 a day, and you're on site for 10 hours. It's $7 an hour on your hourly charge, right? And that's just one item, and hopefully you got a crew so you can spread that out over the labor. But that's how you make all those payments and all those. And like I said, I'm not an advocate for debt necessarily, but I'm not opposed to it by any stretch. But that's how you make those things make business sense, right? And again, that downtime, figuring that downtime of like, again, starting out, yeah, you just got to eat the dirt and deal with it. But there gets to be a point where that downtime is more detrimental to your business than it is to have the overhead or the debt risk or whatever. And you just got to be careful with that. And as Ramsey says, the reason he doesn't play with snakes, i.e. debt, is because snakes bite. And you do got to be careful. You can get, I know some folks that over leverage or overextended themselves during the peak of the last 3 or 4 years and arguably the last 10. And it's different now, in their economic model, and they're I wouldn't say they're struggling, but it's different now, and it's not the gravy train like it was, and they're having to work harder to sell work. And speaking of that, like being as your status, are you on the Mo crew much anymore, Jeremiah?
No, not on the regular. That's a hot topic. Like having to do a better job of training and getting someone else in a foreman position. At least have that capability. Because like my foreman was out last week, he was on vacation, so I was mowing all week long. The business did not progress at all. It arguably went backwards. I was not in the office at all, and so like that kills you on a regular day to day. No, I'm not in the. My time is split between the office and the landscape crew.
Well, so, and that was my next thing. Now at this phase of business you're in, you've got the mow crew out with that awesome box truck, and then you've got your landscape crew, and then that's what I was wondering. What does your day look like on average? On site for a few hours, in the office for a few hours, selling jobs at night. What's your day look like? And then, by the way, too, it's been 40 minutes. I don't know if you want to move over to more your structure of show or whatever, but you just tell me what you want to do.
Good conversation. This is good conversation. We'll just stay with this and see where it goes. And I think it's good stuff. I mean, it's all applicable. Our day to day is like, yeah, I'm in the office some. I'm in the field some. I just signed on an actual physical office, leasing an office. So that's a big step for us to get, because I have an office in the house right now. But it's just like working at home with a young kid, and now like with Savannah being home all the time with Jack, it doesn't work. He tries to come in, things happen. He wants to play. Like it's not feasible right now to do it in the house. And so I'm actually moving all my stuff out to that office in August. And so my time will be, hopefully, the plan is to spend it like at least half a day every day in the office, actually doing stuff like working on the company, because I've just realized that if we want to grow, we have to get trainings in place. We have to get actual like procedures and systems in place. And so just starting to work on that a lot more. But yeah, the day-to-day is split between landscape and in the office, because I don't have a salesperson yet. I don't have an estimator. I'm right on the edge of like I need a VA, I need an office admin or something like that. Just because there's so much to do that I just can't keep up with it all and keep selling. And so it changes every day. The stage of business we're in right now, just like teetering between needing another maintenance crew and things like that. But I don't know where you want to go. We'll come back to where you want to go after that. But what you said about like over leveraging yourself, the economy shifting, changing, having higher debt, all of that is true. Yes. But if a true business leader, true entrepreneur that's grown a large company, I feel like what I've heard them say and what they would say is, well, your fallback plan is that like, a lot of people say I don't want to have a lot of debt, right? Because if the economy shifts, I can go down to me and one or two guys, have no debt, we're good. We'll pay the bills, right? Like, is that the proper approach to have? If you're trying to truly grow a company, that's like a self-limiting belief in a sense. If you are sold on I'm going to grow a company, then I'm going to grow a company. If the economy shifts, we up our marketing, we get better at it, we change those things, we become more efficient. Like we mechanize, we get rid of some labor where we can. But we don't just shrink the size of our business because we have no debt and now we can do that, right? We can take on less revenue. I
can't tell you. I cut you off. I apologize. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to of guys that are actually, and this is what the separator is, that are actually business people, and that's a separator, right? And the people that are going to pull back and play it safe and all that, totally get that. I understand that, and I can respect that. But the guys that have built big companies, or even just modest-sized companies, whatever that even freaking means, like, so I can't tell you how many of those guys have been like, we grew in every downturn there was. Our company always grew in the downturns. And I was thinking about that the other day of like, right now we're having our best year since 2020. And like last year was a god awful struggle and that's a long story. You know, that's a long podcast in its own right about my theories on why that was last year. But most of it was self-inflicted, frankly. And if not all of it. And this year we're, you know, theoretically in a down economy or down-ish. And and it's because we've changed our mentality on a lot of things, how we sell, what we're selling, how we're presenting ourselves. There's so much to that. And we're, A, going to grow this year, and B, we've got a better mix of clientele than we've ever had and job mix. And I think you're right. It's that the self-limiting stuff will kill you. I mean, it'll hurt you bad. And I got plenty of my own ghosts and demons there that I'm fighting off, you know, when it comes to self-limiting stuff. But it's absolutely the truth there, Jeremiah. So I'm glad you brought that up. I got so much to do want to talk about. You mentioned irrigation. This is a total hard pivot, but I'm a horrible host or guest or whatever.
Hard PVT.
Yeah, HRD PVT. Yeah, ever since Liz mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that wouldn't work, would it? Or unless you want it to be that, whatever. Be on a red Corvette would really be like perfect for that. Tell me about irrigation, because we've started messing with that too, just in simple drip systems. And then we bought, John Pajak turned me on to these little DIY pop-up kits for what we're calling pseudo-temporary landscape irrigation, just to get it off the ground for the first couple years. Tell me what your experience is with irrigation, what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so we're basically just getting into the maintenance side of it right now. Just the service, really, I guess you could say is the better word, the service side. Just getting in. We've dealt with a local rep. We use Ewing here a lot. I don't know. Do y'all have Ewing up there a lot?
Yeah, but they're getting smaller. And I'll tell you what. Let me pause you real quick here. If we need to launch I need to tell Hunter to hold off. He was going to launch a show for tomorrow if he hasn't already. Okay, tell him this will be for tomorrow, so that'll push it late. Okay, sorry about that. I just thought about that, so we're going to shift our schedule around there. Okay, so we're good then. Yeah, we do have them up here a little bit.
I mean, if you don't want a show, then I'd take the whole show. Yeah. You already got one. But
Man, content, I will harvest and farm and store the content any way I can anymore, buddy. So no, we're good. So exactly. Yeah, we'll just push our plan back a week for the other one. That's totally great. So okay, but yeah. So long story short, we have Ewings. I think they've been being bought out by somebody, I think, up here, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ewing is what we have. We have a site one, but it's like 30 minutes for me. And so I don't ever really go out there much, which is unfortunate. It's definitely the best, it's the best total supply yard that we have. It's just a long way away. So Ewing it's Ewing Irrigation. It's irrigation supply. Yeah. That's what their name is. And so we've gotten in with them. We started when we were doing like downspout extensions, stuff like that. And we have a great rep in there. They're the GM of that store. We're becoming real close, and he helps me a lot. I mean, I'll literally call him on these jobs. I'm like, hey, what's wrong? Why is this not turning on? And so it's gotten me into it in this little, just like such a small like entry here. But the barrier to entry is very, very small. Like you literally just go YouTube some stuff, learn the basic parts of how irrigation works. It's not complicated. And for the longest, I was like, I don't ever want to touch it. I don't want to deal with underground stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, you know what? We have the machines. We can easily get the machines. Like, it's not a bad gig. And the service prices, like, you can charge it's very, very profitable because you're charging between $95 and $110 per man hour for service. And your parts are literally the most intricate thing on a system is your controller and the valves. And a valve which is like what runs your stations or your zones, if you don't know anything about irrigation, like those valves are $20 a piece. Like you can change all the valves in a whole system for like $200 if you have a 10 station system. And so like that's your most expensive, and the controller is like $180 or something like that. Like, these are all rough numbers, but you go out there and bill out $9,500 an hour, and you have the right machines, you have the right tools. Again, that's all part of it, and the knowledge. but you're twisting and untwisting pipe, heads, funny pipe, valves. It's all very simple stuff once you learn the basics of it. And so it's been a very, very, very slow entry, just like, hey, I'll help you out here or there. And what I've also done is, like, if you're thinking about getting into irrigation, try to get you a really, really good contact in your area that does it. And so what I've been doing is like, hey, I'm going to come look at it. If it's over my level of expertise, and I'm upfront with the customers and say, look, I'm trying to get into irrigation. I'm just learning it as we go. So I want to come see if I can problem solve it for you. If I can't, I have a really good referral to send you to that I know can fix it for you. And so that also helps, because they don't feel like they're just wasting their time with me that way. If they know that I can send them to someone who can take care of it.
Man, that's cool. I think there is insane potential in irrigation work. Yeah. And
the more and more that I'm around it, the new homes that I see going up, I'm like, we get tenants, and you're on a basic, like, I'm getting feedback. Are y'all getting feedback there? No,
we're good. Yeah.
On a basic install, like just a 6 to 8 zone system, like you're talking between $8,000 and $10,000 roughly. Those are all rough numbers. But like, and your material is $2,000 at the most. It's ridiculous profit margins if you have the right machines to make it easy on you, so you're not killing yourself.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, it's not the sexiest thing to say I'm starting an irrigation company. I'm starting an excavation company. Hell yeah, bro! Let's go get let's go buy an X. Let's go buy it. I mean, that's cool and way, way cool. But man, I'm telling you, for just clear money. And the other fun thing about this is I've been ranting to Brittany about this lately. The worst thing about landscape work is that everyone thinks they can do it, including homeowner. And so they have an opinion on what shrub and what it should be done and how it should be. When you get into the magical world of like HVAC or welding or irrigation, electricity, everyone's mesmerized by your magical skills. And that stuff is not hard. You just got to learn it. And so there's no or very little pushback on like what you're doing.
And you're not getting pushback on your rates, because guess what? It's the principle of business. You find a customer with a problem, usually with irrigation service. Their problem is they're leaking or they're not being able to water, right? So there's big problems there. Their water bill's either going really, really high or their grass is dying because they can't water. So you're going to be the solution to their problem, which means you set a reasonable rate. You don't price gouge them, but you also know your value, and they don't push back. Like the first legit service job I ever did, like I didn't know what I was doing. I was on the phone with the sales rep while I'm sitting there, like, hey, how do I fix this? And I was charging her $95 an hour plus parts. Like, it just is what it is. And there was no complaints. She was totally satisfied because we solved the problem.
And you can do that work out of a Sprinter van. Like, you don't even have to have an $80,000. Yeah, like, you don't have to have an $80,000 1-ton truck. Like, it's such, to me, it's such obvious stupid money that it's insane our whole industry doesn't go that direction. Or the same with lighting or like lawn treatments. I feel like kind of goes down that road of like, everybody's like, I don't know why the dandelions won't die. It's like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
So I think that stuff is just so obvious, but it's just not as sexy and cool as putting in a paver patio that everybody's got an opinion on and thinks you just scrape off the side and put sand on the ground and put go get your 16 by 16 Menards pavers or Lowe's or Home Depot or Publix pavers and slap them on her, and then not understand why the patio is $15,000. It's like, no, you just put sand on the ground. Yeah. So, which again, if you got those questions, that's not the right.
Your Publix sells pavers?
No, I just thought by chance yours might.
I need to get hooked up with that Publix.
Wait, hold on. How's the patio?
Oh, I forgot you started a patio project. Yeah.
Hold on. I want Savannah to answer how the patio is, and then I'll let Jeremiah come in.
Savannah's no longer with us.
Let's just say that the grass is growing through the paver stacks that's sitting out there by where the patio is supposed to go.
The pallets that are the pavers that are still on pallets.
It's not
growing through.
Well, that's not enjoyable.
I'll
to
tell you
sit
what.
on.
So if that job is still unfinished in, like, let's say late November, December time, and it's workable down there, we'll come down and we'll make podcasts and videos.
We should stop by on our way to Florida.
Stay unfinished.
Oh yeah, we're going to Florida in a couple weeks. We're going to stop by and just make fun of your project and then we'll come back in
You're not
December.
actually going to help me later.
No,
I
God, no.
thought you
No.
were more reason to not do it.
But then in the winter, yeah, I know I'm not helping him. I'm giving the drunk a drink in this case. Huh? He's never going to finish it till we come down. So
I'll give you Zeke and Levi, and they will have those pavers down for you in no time.
oh yeah, so we'll come down.
They could probably do a good job.
If
I
Savannah
think
doesn't kill you by November or December in the winter, we can come down there. We'll come down and we'll have some fun. We'll fix that up.
I tell you what, I'll rip it all up, and we can just do a whole Hardship Academy class here in Alabama for the guys in the South.
I don't know that we need to go
On-site.
that far with it, but I think there's potential actually to do a clinic at your place if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
go.
there you
So,
go. The podcast heard it first.
Yeah, I best if you want to.
podcast heard.
It'll be it's going to be a pricey venue. It's going to be limited to maybe 10 people, 15 people. I don't know. There
10.
in Central Alabama. I don't
It's a
know.
good
We'll
spot.
see. We'll see. Okay, so that being said, that's interesting. Okay, where are we going?
So no cookouts on the patio.
The patio is not finished yet. I'll tell you why. I was rocking and rolling. Like, we were good. I was moving. And then I just got so pissed off with the bedding layer. I was just like, I'm done. I was doing it by myself, and I kept getting it. It just kept being uneven. And I was like, you know what? I'm just done. And I haven't gone back out there since then.
Did you watch the how to install pavers video?
I've watched that freaking course 20 times. It told me everything I needed. It was a great course. It was just actually applying it.
Honey, some men you just can't reach, you know?
Okay. All right. Well, Savannah, we will come save you.
Thank you.
But not till Christmas.
Thank you.
All the while, our porch is half finished as well. Because we're taking after y'all. Y'all love doing home projects. Caleb loves starting home projects.
Oh, God,
so.
do I? Yeah. Oh, do I?
It's we have a back porch that's also half finished.
I'm glad we could be great role models for you.
Yeah, there you
Didn't
go.
Savannah
Next Fullerton's going to be like, why don't you offer to come up and build my 8,000 square foot patio and pavilion and pool? And
Didn't Savannah was working on the deck, or she cleaned the deck, or is that what you're talking
She
about?
had to clean the deck.
Yes, I did.
She did clean it all.
Reorganized and what's the word when you move up furniture around and stuff? I don't know.
Reorganized?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
just so I'm not getting myself
no,
over my head. What size was your patio? So it isn't like 8,000 square feet, like what Fullerton
it's their whole
Fullerton
backyard.
wants to build. Yeah.
It's a 40 by 35, I think.
Oh, man, I think my whole winter's booked up. I was just looking at my schedule.
It just happened.
Yeah, I just actually looked at my schedule.
I think it's actually a 10 by 10. It's pretty small.
Oh yeah, we'll crush that. That won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got it half laid.
It is so sad. You're gonna have to send him a picture of our backyard after this, of what it looks like out there.
It looks good.
Don't
It's in
move.
good shape.
It looks so bad.
Don't move anything
How could
until we
we
get there.
how could we make this like a
I'll
mowing
see the
tall
picture.
grass video except of pavers? Like this poor helpless sap can't finish his patio. And the good Lord called on me to go help him finish it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
What's that?
exactly. Yeah. Coming to Alabama for just straight pity on him.
All right. Well, sorry to bring up
Kindness.
such a sore subject.
Kindness,
No,
good
I'm
deeds.
thankful you did.
Man. Yeah, it's good. But it's all good. It's part of it. But the irrigation thing, it's hard pivot there. But irrigation's interesting. Looking to get into it. We might get into some. We actually were supposed to have a patio booked up. We were going to install a patio this summer. That was one of the reasons that I did this at the house, because I was like, I want to test this at home first, and then we're going to install one later. And that job has not come through yet. So
I was gonna say, based on your track record, I would not advise that.
Well, Brittany, have more faith, okay? Have more faith.
I got faith.
We have a mini X now to dig it out.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Caleb says that's the first step.
Yeah, that thing
And
is.
I got a like tilty bucket. It's not a tilt rotator, but it's a tilty bucket.
That's pretty cool, man. I
is
can't wait
neat.
to see that little thing go. Hey, did it end up being pull start as well? Is electric start or is it pull start
It's not
only?
full start.
Oh man,
It's not full start.
not a wind up excavator. You gotta wind it up.
I'll play with that too.
Yeah.
Can you move both
It's,
those? Because it's a micro, what we would call a micro Mini X. It's a 1-ton Mini X. It's awesome. I want one myself so bad. Can you put both those on one trailer that you have? Both those machines?
No, I don't have anything big enough yet.
Okay.
Our next trailer purchase is an equipment hauler, though. That's what's.
Oh,
next
okay,
up
on the
list
landscape
because-
trailer and the thing. I got you. Okay, I was like, I feel like you could pack that on a 16-foot trailer pretty easy. Okay, it's a landscape trailer. I got you. That is when you can mobilize like all that stuff. You're gonna feel like the man. It's the coolest feeling when you can move a bunch of stuff at one time.
Feel like the man.
You're gonna feel like the man.
Okay.
Put on your pit vipers and cruise down the road, mullet blowing in the wind or whatever that crazy hairdo is you got. And that's
I
gonna.
don't have a crazy hairdo. My hair's not even long anymore.
It's not.
I just have hair and you don't. So like, there's a
How-
I have crazy hair.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? What are we? Okay, so I touched on irrigation, the Mini X.
Brittany derailed us big time.
Something I want to.
Do you have show notes over there?
I believe it or not, I go through and I make. Oh, by the way, shout out to John Henry. It's actually I don't know if he listens to your podcast or not. If this is where this will end up, so I'll have to do it on my own. But John Henry messaged me and said pit vipers were the name of the glasses I was looking for the other day. Thank you, John.
I was just going to call you out on not knowing that.
I want something I want to ask Savannah. This is again a hard pivot back to a little more serious question. What is this is and even Jeremiah, because I just like asking people this question. But like when you all started Growing Green, what was and I'm in the fallacy thing here, like what was something you thought was true or going to be true about self-employment or the Growing Green business that you just thought was going to be the way it was and ended up totally not being that way? Do you know what I mean? Like you pictured it being one way and ended up being another, good or bad, by the way, or both cases if you got them.
Oh gosh. Why are you guys laughing at me so hard? Oh,
Savannah didn't want to answer. She didn't know what the answer should be. Have you made up an answer yet?
I'm thinking about it.
And we can read. Yeah, I was gonna say I almost asked it earlier just to give you a moment to stew on that. But
that's a deep question. I would say the thing that I've actually talked about this before.
Oh well, then never mind. All right, cool. Next topic.
I don't remember what my answer is now. Now you got me thinking. I think what I would look back on and say from the beginning for me would be like, it's not always as easy as you think it's going to be. In the beginning, you think, I don't want to go work for and a lot of people get into this because they wanted to quit their full-time job. They were tired of working for somebody else. They didn't want anybody telling them what to do, right? Like that. And this is what I talked to you about when you called me that day on your 500 episode or something like that. It's like when you quit your full-time job because you don't want a boss to start your own company, you're signing up to have 200 bosses if you're on a big maintenance company, or 30, or 10 or 15 or 20 really, 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 really picky bosses if you're doing design install. Like, you are working for your customers. And so don't get so caught up in like, oh, I'm going to just do work for myself and be my own boss, because that's not the case at the end of the day if you're running a company that truly solves customers' problems.
There's the catch on that. Yeah, that truly is a business and truly solves problems for people. I know a guy that actually did a business and did it the way he said that was going to be, but it wasn't a business. It was just he was just doing a service for money. It wasn't a business. It wasn't run like a business. It wasn't perceived as a business. That's exactly it. If you're actually going to be a real deal company, that's what it comes down to. You're exactly right.
Exactly. All right, Savannah has hers now.
Cool.
Mine's kind of hard because you can't just you have to like have it in context. But I don't think I understood or knew or kind of understood to the effect of the whole like you have to spend money to make money like mindset.
We could do a whole show on that.
I just was so ignorant, naive. I don't know, like didn't understand the amount of not just money, but like time, but mainly money that we were going to have to personally invest to start making money. Like Jeremiah, it was going to take a lot more than him just going out on the lawnmower that he had to start like really making money. So that's something that I've definitely learned and I'm still learning and trying to understand better.
That's an awesome. That's an interesting answer. Yeah.
the caveat to that is like you hit on all the time. I could get on my mower that I had and go cut grass and make money. Yes, but I'm a service provider. I'm not a business owner, right? And so that real breakthrough has been the past couple of years when we both come together and say, this is what's got to happen if we want to actually grow a legitimate functioning business without me having to be there every single second of the day.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's great input. Savannah, I like
Brittany,
that.
Brittany, what was your answer when you brought it out of bankruptcy?
When I what?
When you helped bring the company out of bankruptcy, what were you prepared?
We both pulled it out of bankruptcy. It wasn't just me.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying you came in when the company was in bankruptcy, like y'all were going through that.
I don't really know what was going through my mind at the time. I try to think back at that time, and I don't know. My dad had always been an entrepreneur, I knew what that was, but my mom wasn't involved in the business at all. Totally removed. Never even went to go visit the business very often, other than to pick us kids up. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Caleb, so what was yours in the second coming of the company?
Or just in general.
Of what I thought in the second company. I'll tell you the first thing. In the first company, the thing I thought was true that turned out to be terribly true, and this harkens to maybe the show origin here, or the discussion of Top Line to the Moon. I thought Top Line would save me. I thought Top Line was the answer to all my freaking problems. So that was when I'm in my first company. That's the thing I thought was true about business. I had to get to $1 million in revenue, and how could you not make any money doing $1 million in revenue? Well, I actually found out that's very easy to not make any money at any revenue level. And I don't think I ever got over in my first company over 400. And it's still, if you got $400 and $1,000 in cost, you're upside down, right? So. So that was my first fallacy. The second version, gosh, I hate it when people spring these kind of questions on me last minute.
Kind of like you just did to us.
Jeremiah, that would be what's known as an ironic injunction there.
I think for me, what I've realized is that when the bankruptcy stuff was over and, we had the second coming of the company, I guess.
Second coming.
I think
Jesus himself.
I thought that we had to do everything ourselves. I never saw a point in time. Where I felt we could leave the company. You know what I mean? Not be totally involved in the finances and all the equipment and be on site. Because when we were rebuilding the company, Caleb and I were both out in the field and running the company at night. And we had no kids at the time, so things were a little different. But we literally worked 18 hours a day. And I think when we started the company, I knew we wouldn't be working like that forever, but I also didn't understand or didn't have a concept of hiring the right people for the right things. Hiring a bookkeeper and utilizing an actual tax planner and using different softwares. I always thought that it just had to be done the same way that I've seen my dad do it, which, he had a typewriter in his business and they sent out invoices with a typewriter. And so I guess that was my picture of business that.
And they were $1 million, very profitable company.
Yeah. They were very frugal also.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think just slowly over the years, and I still have a hard time delegating and giving things away. But I think that's what I've realized is the business gets better the more that I've given things to the right people.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm still thinking what was I just start going back down this road of how different my mindset is. My work ethic has always been animalistic. I mean, just sun up, sun down, no problem, right? But I don't know. Maybe then I thought just it was sheer hours would save me then. You know what I mean? And it was just what I didn't realize. I'll tell you what I didn't realize was true, that it was true, was just my mindset and all that was just not where it needed to be. And even now, I'm trying to check myself of like what I think my now elevated mindset is 1 inch off the ground. Where do I really need to be mindset wise to really move beyond where we're at now? And I know a couple of the answers, and I keep trying to tell myself it's just like we're beyond the stage of like understanding when we need to buy a machine that's going to make sense. That is over. Now it's hiring the people and making that leap of like we need a personal assistant / nanny or something like that to help us maximize. That's the new hurdle that it's the excavator of the day that we know we need to do it. We're scared to do it. And we also don't realize how that'll transform our lives, but we're scared of the capital investment in it. And that's where we're at. I think our decision making is so much different of like what the decisions we need to make now that we're hesitating on are what's hard to us now. And it's the equivalent of it used to be hard to decide, like, should we buy or borrow this much money to buy a machine or something? So whatever.
I think what that is, though, is like you're transitioning into your business is transitioning. You're transitioning yourselves, and you're turning into legitimate business. You're not that you haven't been business owners, but like you're growing a company, and now it's like being able to make those decisions and realize you have to, when you make those decisions, to hire that personal assistant, executive assistant, whatever role that you need to fill, like, what are you doing with that time? As long as you know that you can take that time that's going to free you up, right, and you go actually do something like productive with that time, then there's, when you really look back at it, like, the numbers don't lie. There's no, and it's easy to say when you're in the situation, right? I'm speaking not directly to YouTube, broadly to everyone out there. Like, the numbers don't lie. It's going to cost you $5,000 a month to have this person on payroll. Then how much can you do with your time? How much can you go generate? Like, go generate 20 or 30 or 50, right? And it's just at the end of the day, how much can you up your marketing? How much can you improve your SEO? Like, what are you doing there to change that side of the company? And so when I'm looking at hiring a salesperson or an estimator or a designer, like, those are those things, because like I want to do that earlier in business rather than later, because I don't want those to be the things that hold me back. But I'm like, man, this person's going to cost me $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year now, like, for anybody half decent. I mean, I haven't even shot that out. That could be way off. But I'm just saying, like, it's going to say $70,000 a year. Like, what am I going to do? One, how much is that person going to produce? And so my first statement, we're talking about if that person's strictly overhead. But if you're talking about someone that's going to produce revenue, then how much revenue can they produce for you, right? Like, it's going to cost you 70. They're going to generate 600,000. There's a decent return there, right? And so, just really know your numbers for everyone out there. That's what I'm trying to work through right now. Like, how can I grow my business development to really learn the numbers the right way, understand the numbers, and say, hey, when I'm ready to go hire these people, how can I hire them and not get so caught up on the number, but how efficient can they be? And I think one of the best people that I've heard talk about this is Alex Hormozy, when they talk about hiring for their companies. Like, they hire people that know what they're doing. They cost them a lot of money, yes, but they're not training them. They let other people, like, hire somebody that's been doing it for 10 years, right? Because that person has trained on somebody else's dime. Don't train, like, you don't necessarily have to train somebody on your dime. Get somebody who's trained on another person's dime that knows what they're doing. Bring them in. Are they going to cost you more? Yes. But they're going to cost you as much as what it would cost you to have to pay to have them trained, and them not know how to actually make the sales and increase revenue for you.
Yeah, and that's I would totally agree with that. The only thing you've got to watch with that stuff is breaking habits that don't fit your culture. So you got to hire somebody that has all that but can still fit into your company culture and your values. That's my caveat to that. But dude, it's been I could go forever on this, and I've got a couple other things. I'd love talking about this even after the show here, but how pivotal, presenting professional, like really professional grade designs has been to our company. So that's a whole nother podcast, but
well, we'll see them next week.
Yeah, so we'll be all down at Together in the Trades, the event there that we host with the Fullerton family there. TogetherInTheTrades.com. We're cruising. You've got a week. If you've already got your passports or 2 forms ID, you can still join us. TogetherInTheTrades.com. on Celebrity Cruise Lines going out of Miami, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. That's the same place, same city. It's all connected.
Leaves next Friday.
Awesome. And then, Jeremiah, I'll let you land your own plane there, buddy. I'm kind of just yammering.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. Appreciate the opportunity to just get on here and chat. We've kind of gone back and forth, had 2 different shows here. So hopefully everyone got some value out of it, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll catch up with everybody here on the next one.
There you go. Cool.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.